Yes.
Meeting is being recorded.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everybody, for attending tonight. So do we have a copy of the rewrite, or do we just have to approve it as it is? Can you put it up on the board? So how did the deliberate session go on Saturday?
The deliberative section took about 45 minutes. There was conversations. It was fully supported. Couple of questions from the public related to, what would it actually do to some of their areas and some clarifications, but otherwise, really a minimal discussion.
Good.
And a 9-0 approval from the budget.
Perfect. Do we have a motion to accept this as rewritten?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn. No.
Yeah.
We're working.
Other business?
Two items. One is the temporary bridge. We're coming into September when the next payment was due. We were talking to the engineer. Right now, the current buyout, which basically gets to the same place as 52,000. Just need a motion to approve that we do that check. It comes from capital reserve. It does not come out of the general fund.
Does it? Is that just a rent payment or?
No, that's the payment to end all rent payments
Oh,
for the next 3 years.
okay.
Yeah, I think Jack had said that ultimately would happen.
Yeah.
We would end up owning
Do
it.
we have a use for it after the project?
Probably not,
Can we
but
rent it?
they don't know the answer to that. We'd have to have an engineer certify it and all those kind of things.
What's the monthly cost?
It's like 1,800 a month, I believe.
So we have to pay it out though versus paying it.
We can keep paying it that way, but then if the project goes a year longer, we will continue to pay, where now we're just paying the 1,800 a month for that 3-year maximum use. And we expect it to go beyond the time. So then it would just become more expensive.
And the 1,800 is coming out of general, right? It's not coming out of capital, right?
Yes.
So the option to completely purchase it outright. But pay off the remainder is like right now or not or never. Like we have to pay this.
I
Like
mean, if you wanted to delay it a month, we could ask him for a revised quote, but he's given us 3 different quotes over the past few months, and it will, but it's a matter of, they don't wanna deal with it at the end, and they just wanted to kind of go away with the end of the project.
That's what I was thinking.
It's really not a gigantic gain, it's probably a $20,000 savings, realistically,
Of buying it out.
buying it out.
The
Because
only
it
other
will go 1 year past that 3-year usage,
And the only other thing is if we buy it out, we own it,
yes.
So we can sell
we
it.
have at that point, we have equity that we can
Potentially, yes.
cut the cost. The fact, as far as renting it out, that shouldn't be well, because it's already been certified for your load ratings. for
Oh,
what
just,
it's doing.
yeah, all the load rating and all that will be fine. The question is, we would have to do an inspection at the end to make sure it hasn't
Yeah.
deteriorated anyway.
I have a couple more questions. So once we own it, do we have to remove it ourselves?
It
Because
would
I
be
know.
part of it, would be part of the overall project to remove it, which would have happened. It's gonna happen either way when the other bridge is done.
Okay, 'cause I know they set it for
Right.
us.
But that's gonna have to come out, because the bridge that it's setting on is coming out.
Right, so is
Well,
that,
it's-
would that company come in and remove it, or are we going to be responsible for figuring that
Well,
out?
they may be
if
the
we own
ones
it?
we use, but it would be we would then be selecting a contractor, and it will be part of the cost of the
It's part of the
project. Like
project.
Chris we would add,
Okay.
HEB add that in.
Okay,
And see who, I don't know, it might be the contractor who gets the project and is doing the demolition.
Yeah, removal will become part of the bridge
the actual scope of the project.
Yeah.
of the project.
Okay.
It won't be, it shouldn't be an added cost at that
Correct.
point.
Okay, and I
Also-
have one other question that I've forgotten now.
Well, we also
So-
talked about discontinuing Gristmill Hill Road at where the new bridge is gonna break off.
Yeah, I mean,
Not,
that's,
not putting a parking lot or anything, turn
Yeah, I
around
mean-
down there for that, the town has
Yeah.
to worry about or anything like
the
that.
two, we had 2 letters from the public, and they're gonna be on the August 3rd agenda. to have a conversation. One is that a homeowner
Mhm.
concerned about when they take the tunnel out, structural concerns on this project. And then that road would be the other piece of that, which is the solution will be that HED being a structural engineer will do the structural analysis of the where it's happening and all of that. And we would be certifying it to the homeowner that he's not gonna see damage.
Cause they're gonna take the culvert out too, right?
That's correct. The culvert's what he was concerned about. What's that gonna do? So we would actually have them do an engineering report as part of that. And then the other question was the person right there at the bend about the speeds on the road.
Yeah,
Those are
Gary-
the two
Gary
areas.
would.
And I'm gonna have Ryan speak to those.
Okay, I remembered my question.
Okay.
So if we withdraw this from the capital reserve fund, I mean, obviously, we're anticipating that. Is that offset by the savings that they're going to pay 100%? Like,
That's
because,
saving us about 200,000. Well,
okay.
the offset
so-
we're getting is like 200,000
Okay.
plus.
So there's not a concern that we're gonna have a shortfall somewhere else, okay.
No.
All right, I'll make the motion that we go ahead and do that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And my other item, and this is more of an FYI than it is an approval question. We have the elderly and disabled, the lien deferrals. One of those properties is changing hands. And because basically the elder and disabled tax deferral application was actually recorded at the Grafton County Register of Deeds, and they were concerned that because there was basically a reduction of $1,900 at the time, they were concerned, does the town expect them to pay the $1,900 for clear title? On this third page of what Ann gave me, which is the taxes since the time this took place.
Yep.
They've paid, they did get the deferral, it's a lowered price, but they paid every dollar, there's no money owed to the town. So I was planning to give them a letter saying that they owe no money to the town and this could be removed. And just an FYI, it's just one of those, I don't understand why we
Why would
recorded
we
the
record it?
application.
Right,
Yeah.
It's just an
That's
odd
really a town-
question, so it's just an odd,
right, because
Question.
those tax dollars were restricted onto other taxpayers.
Correct,
We all
and
know
this-
when we approved the exemption.
right, and this. Just brought up another question is. We're not sure that all land. Transfers have, when they have a deferral on them, that when they get sold, they're getting put back to the original value. We don't know that that's happening yet. So we're trying to gather that information, because it's
How many,
supposed to be like the land transfer and if it's the tax assessor is supposed to pick it up and
That's
then.
because the assessor is supposed to be,
Right, but it's like, we don't know that he's getting the information that right
but it should,
away.
he gets the form that the property transferred.
The
Was
property
transferred,
transferred, right,
and it
so.
has a selling price, that should become a new value.
I'm not saying that they haven't done it,
Okay.
I'm just saying, we have a question as to how is that
Okay,
information transferring and is it transferring correctly
Okay.
and have we gotten them all?
all right,
Cause there's a lot of them.
yeah, I'm not saying even on a regular property change, you
Correct,
know, you're not, the properties aren't being taxed correctly, so.
Right.
That's-
so yeah, that was my two items.
Okay. All right, any questions on it?
I'll move to adjourn to non-public.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.